Peter Parker, how the hell are you?
Marvel's Spider-Man is already feeling very, well, Marvel, with big action set pieces,
I'll clear a path. Follow me.
formidable bad guys,
I'm surprised you made it this far.
and a hell of a lot of swinging. Insomniac's brand new action adventure is shaping up to be everything that you'd want from a Spidey game. But don't worry, I get it, you just want to know how it feels to swing around New York, don't you? Well, the short story is that it feels incredible. You can combo up swings, point jumps, web dashes and more, and within a few minutes of playing, you'll be swinging around New York with incredibly smooth and fluid motions that are every bit as satisfying as you'd hope they'd be. The better your suit, the better moves you get, and soon you'll be pulling off tricks and combining them with wall runs. What's additionally amazing is that you instantly feel like a superhero, and the tutorials are subtle enough, simply slowing down the gameplay for a second or two to alert you to a specific button press, to never take you out of the moment. And that's exactly what you'd hope for with a game that's dropping you into a story of a 23-year-old Spider-Man. If Spidey's not learning things from scratch, I shouldn't feel like I am either. Although, that's just showing off. Flow is actually the word for my entire experience with Spider-Man, as, like the Batman Arkham series, the idea of combos and fluidity is a huge part of the combat too. Although at first it seems like it's just a case of mashing attack and dodge to sort out the bad guys, the entire thing is much more nuanced than that. You mix melee attacks, gadgets and web shots in what essentially becomes a beautiful, yet brutal, dance. It's at this point I'm going to stop and let you know that in the second half of this video, i.e. now, there are actually mild story spoilers for the first 2 hours of the game, because that's the bit I played. Are you ready? Okay.
Oh, for me? You shouldn't have.
The idea of flow is especially true in boss battles. So far I've only tangoed with Wilson Fisk at the top of his ridiculously fortified tower, but when you're slamming turret guns through bulletproof glass, there's a certain majesty to proceedings. There's a wonderful mix of aerial acrobatics, swing attacks, web shots, gadgets and more to make sure your combat is going to constantly evolve, and boy are there plenty to collect over the course of the game. I only unlocked one gadget in my first 2 hours of the game, but by that point I'm rocking the amazing white spidered advanced suit after the original gets slashed in a fight with Fisk, and I'm comboing up my suit skills and collecting backpack tokens for the next thing I want. Backpacks are just one of 6 resource tokens that you'll have to collect in order to upgrade your kit, but inside each one is a wonderful piece of Spidey's life history, which I'm sure will be just one way to find a Spider-Man Easter egg and secret in the game. Of course, just when you think it all sounds a little too exciting, there's a moment of quiet reflection in the form of a stealth section.
I should look for a sneaky way in.
I mean, who am I kidding? Even the stealth gameplay is amazing, blending Batman Arkham-esque aerial attacks with distraction tactics, non-violent takedowns, and good old-fashioned isolated attacks.
You stay quiet now.
But although this is a Spider-Man game, Spidey isn't anything without Peter Parker, the cliched man behind the mask. And that's very true for this game too. You'll spend half the time playing as Peter Parker, dealing with your everyday 20-something-year-old issues like paying rent and working an actual job, but also hanging out with your family, aka Aunt May, who it turns out is working for New York City's latest supervillain, disguised as a philanthropist.
Okay.
You've got all this to look forward to come September 7th. This is a game that already all feels inherently Marvel with all its grand fights and colliding storylines, but it's also an Insomniac game through and through. You can feel the team's history and personality glowing from every component, from the flow and the fluidity of the combat, to the silliness and inventiveness of the gadgets and suits, to the upbeat and jovial tone of the game. Spider-Man and Insomniac feels like a perfect match, and I can't wait to swing back into New York to see just how good this is going to be.
Would you look at that? Half the crime tower's back up already.
When Spider Cop's on the job, come hell or high water, the job gets...
Nope.
She'd never admit it, but the chief was warming up to Spider Cop. His casual disregard for by-the-book thinking was a breath of fresh air. She'd come around. Someday.
So that's our first impressions of Marvel's Spider-Man coming to PS4 in September. If you like this, make sure to comment below, click the buttons on the left for more content from us, and don't forget to hit that big button in the middle for more news, reviews, previews and more from us here at GamesRadar Plus.